evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. I'm your host this evening, Sheldon Walker. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you the man, the myth, the mullet enthusiast, Gavin, a.k.a. Big Hawk. What's going on, big guy? How are you, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
No, hey, bro, thank you for coming on here. For those of you that don't recognize this glorious mullet because it's not flowing in the wind, typically when we see it, doing front flips at the 50-yard line or 40-yard line, give or take. This is Gavin HAWK, the equipment manager for the Houston football team. He is mostly known for, one, I would say his mullet, but secondly, his glorious dives and rolls when retrieving the tee from the 50-yard line. So, again, I felt like I had to get you on with just the character and all. I had to know more. I saw the video and I was like, I got to know this guy. I got to know the story. I got to know the energy behind it. And we got to do it. And I reached out to you. You were like, hell yeah, let's rock and roll. And I've been pumped ever since you said yes, man. So I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Well, Happy New Year, first of all. It's going to be, I think this is going to be the year of Hawk, if I had to say so of myself. But let's talk about it, man. So you're an equipment manager for Houston. Did you play football in high school? I mean, you
definitely. I played me a little offensive guard there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna toot my horn. I was slow as shit.
Okay. So I don't believe it. I see the speed.
I'm a lot more athletic now than I was then. That's for sure.
Okay.
Speed wasn't on my side. Had trouble, getting to my gaps on pulls. But when it came time to graduate, start looking at colleges, I really wanted to stay in college sports, and I wanted to do something and related to football. And so I reached out to a couple of schools, and Houston, had me out for a visit on my 18th birthday. And I graduated class of 2020. So right after my visit, COVID hit.
Okay.
And I was out of school, and they texted me, and they're like, hey, we kind of need guys. If you're not in school right now, do you want to come up? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I started working for UH before I graduated high school.
Okay, so they basically recruited you as an equipment manager then to come out there and work.
Yeah, a little bit.
To a certain extent. Okay, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize it worked like that. So good for you. So how long have you been retrieving the tee? When did that thing come into fruition?
So this started in our game against Memphis last year.
Okay.
Coach Meekins, our tight ends coach, had the idea. There's a guy who would do a similar thing for the Houston Oilers named Bill Mojo Lackey. He would run out, he'd circle the tee, dive on it, and then come back to the sideline and do a somersault. And he was like, hey, would you be willing to do this? I think people would love it. And I was like, of course, I'd love to do that. But we had to get head coach's approval. We had to talk to Coach Hold, and he thought it was hilarious. So, we went ahead Memphis. I think it was our last home game. And he was like, yeah, let's go. So I did it, and just everyone erupted.
So did the players know, or just the coaches knew what you were going to do?
The players knew something was up because, I had Hawk heat pressed on the back of my shirt, and I looked a little bit more excited than normal. They knew something was coming, and when I went out and did it, and I came back to the sideline, they were just blowing up.
He goes, I had Hawk heat pressed on the back of my shirt. They knew shit was locked in at that point in time. So typically Hawk's not heat pressed on the back of your shirt, I'm assuming. Up until that point, it wasn't on the back.
Yeah, up until that point, it was just a normal, game day polo.
Okay.
We try to dress nice on the sideline, look spiffy. And since then, at every game I have the Hawk shirt on, but if it's an away game and I'm not quite sure if I'm doing it or not, then I'll have a hot jacket over top it,
okay,
where I can just rip it off and go.
That is unbelievable. I love how you go, yeah, I got the heat pressed, ready to rock and roll. Like, the coaches are like, look, if we're going to do this, we got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. he's got to have the title when he goes out onto the football field of Hawk. I mean, go ahead.
Well, on away games, it comes down to a look from Coach Holt. If he gives you the finger and he's like, hey, let's go. Yeah, you got to go. You got to be ready to go. I can't run back in the locker room and grab the Hawk shirt and change real quick. I gotta be ready.
Dude, okay. This is this is getting better and better. So home games, it's a lock. You're guaranteed to go every time. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless we have a little kid doing it.
Okay. Well, let's see. Gotta get the little kid out of there. I'm just kidding. All right.
Yeah,
So
the little kid will do it like once, and then it's all me.
Hawks back in the game. So away games, you got to get the signal from coach. Is there like a that he get?
Normally it's a. I know for UTSA and Texas Tech, we were rolling the entire game. We talked before the game, and he's like, "Hey, did you bring the shirt? We need this." And I was like, "Yeah, I got you." And then for some games, it's kind of like, "Hey, wait and see." Our game against Memphis, it was a wait and see moment. And when we scored that last touchdown, we just came back from like 30 something points. 20 seconds on the clock. We just won this thing. He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I ripped my shirt off. I ran out there, did it. Came. I was screaming. I was hyped up, having a blast.
So you're like a secret weapon that coach keeps on the ready to just send out to kind of just fuel it up even more.
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of like a salt in the wound for opposing fans and a nice little treat for our fans.
Mike, I knew there was more to it. That's why I wanted to have you on. Like, it just felt like it was, you got hot press on the back. It felt like just everybody was ready to rock and roll. So obviously the team loves it every single time. It just fires them up. I feel like if I'm an opposing team and I see this, I'm like, we got to get ourselves a Hawk. Like that position. I feel like you could almost, trademark it as the Hawk because look, you're hawking after the T marker. Look what we got going on here, big guy. I mean.
No, here's the thing, man. Since we played Texas Tech, they have a guy doing a similar thing now. After we played them, and I did it. Ohio Equipment, Ohio University. They decided to call me out on Twitter.
Who did?
Said that their skin Ohio Equipment said their skin. I have nothing on their skinny little tiny guy, who likes to do the gritty and other little TikTok dances when he grabs the tee. I don't know what that's about. Right, I don't need no funny little dances or gimmicks to get it done. I go out there with pure athleticism and I get it done. I get the tee, I come back, I come flying in. And then this little Ohio Equipment guy slides in my DMs and is like, "Oh man, I love all the love you're getting. Merry Christmas, dude. Get out of here. What are you talking about? You just disrespected me on the timeline, and now you're trying to be friends with me in the DMs. What are you doing?"
Oh my goodness, there is drama and unrolling here on the tea retrieving atmosphere, and I'm loving it. Oh my goodness, really? So this is incredible. So they called you out, and then he tried to play it cool in the DMs because now he sees Big Hawk getting it done, and he wants a little bit of the piece of the pie. And you're like, "Nah."
Yeah, their equipment staff posted the tweet. I commented, I feel disrespected. Little bro needs to pick up a fork and learn to eat because he's like 120 pounds soaking wet. I'm 340. I'm a man. I eat good every day.
This is peaking to be one of the greatest interviews of all time. This is incredible. I'm here for every bit of this. All right, real quick. We got some people in the chat wondering kind of what's going on. So I've got it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to clip over to your iconic motion really quick so they can see what you're talking about. We got to see these grown man moves, okay? To see what you see. I don't know about the Ohio guy. I'm not going to give him the time of the day. I'm not even going to worry about showing him because I think what you gave me was enough to know that he's just not getting it done. So this is the man right here. This is Gavin HAWK. You said 340?
340.
Every bit of it right here, boys. Moving quick, too. Here we go. I'm going to let you hear the announcers talk about it, too.
Get the team. Go, Hawk, go. No way.
Give it to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Give it to him.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
4.4 speed right here.
Look
at that mullet.
A roll right here at the end.
Son, look at the cold air coming out the mouth. Like that to me, that's the peak right there. Like when you get the whoosh, and it's just like coming out because you're just breathing some hot ass air, bro. I got goosebumps again. Every time I watch it, I get fired up. I love it. Look at that. Heat press on the back.
Yeah, the clip doesn't do me justice. I did it a few times that game, and, sure enough, the one they put on ESPN is the one where I'm pulling up my pants.
Oh, so that's a good point because you got to do that to feel me. Look, you starts kind of beating you down a little bit. I mean, again, if you guys are scoring a lot, are you getting both kick returns or just when Houston kicks it off?
Just when Houston kicks it off. Every team has their own guy that has to go out and get the tee. it's kind of like go out, get the tee, get it back to your sideline. Everyone has one.
Okay.
They just don't do
They-
it with such flair.
with such pizzazz. Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
this dive right here, whenever you do that, the turf is cold. It drags on your clothes. So my pants were getting pulled down.
Look at
So
you.
every
Even
time
got
I ran out,
you even got the quarterback little the towel there, ready to rock and roll because you don't know what's good. You know what I mean? You're prepared.
yeah. So I typically work with the offensive line. That's my position group.
Okay.
The center's always got to have his hand towel. And whenever, our center, Jack Freeman, starts calling for a hand towel, he's yelling out my name. I don't have time to run back to our little chest and grab one. I just have one on me so I can run it out to him.
So this is what people are oversleeping too, because I mean you're dialed in, okay? Like for the fact that let's go over two things here. You just said like, well, hey, when the center says he needs a towel, I can't be running around thinking about it. I got to be ready to rock and roll. Number one, shows that you're prepared. You're thinking way ahead of the football game. Another point of why I guarantee you the Ohio guy doing the gritty, he's not thinking like that, right? Number two, when you go to away games, you keep the Hawk shirt on ready, right? Which again, you're prepared for when coach gives you the eyes. You're not gonna let coach down. You're not gonna let the team down. You gotta know that you gotta be ready to rock and roll. Look, you're getting slept on. You gotta go home and watch film. Look, I respect it. I want to rewind this really quick. Look at the eyes here we get from this young lady. I don't know. You may know who she is.
Yeah,
After
after the game, we're on the bus back to Houston, and she's sitting like in the seat right next to mine. And I was like, "Man, what's up with this?" And she was like, she was just impressed with the athletic ability. That's all it was. That was shock.
She goes. What did I just witness?
Yeah.
Okay, this is unbelievable. Like I'm loving every second of this. All right, so we got Ohio guy. I'm gonna clip that up and tag them in it. Is that okay? I feel like we need to continue this beef.
Oh man, probably not a good idea. My boss gonna get on to me for that one.
Okay. I feel like we gotta let them know what's going on here. Now, so how much credit do you give yourself? Sometimes do you think that you come in and you get that team fired up, that you may have squeaked out a win or two because you go out there and give it all that you got? No, not discrediting the team by any stretch, but we throw in Big Hawk. He's gonna give the team some love.
By the middle of the game, the players they're pretty locked in. And so like you'll see a lot of times whenever they post clips of me, the team's kind of not paying attention to it. That's because, they're focused on the football, right?
Sure.
This is more like a treat for the fans.
Okay.
This is to fire up the crowd. This is to get our boys in the stands going.
Bro, you're incredible. Like you're just dialed in. Like where your mindset's at. I absolutely love it. Like you know what you're out there doing. You know what you're out there for. But the respect I imagine from the team for you is through the roof.
Oh, I mean, I consider myself, pretty hardworking. The Hawk stuff, like all that diving, that's only for game day, right? We still have practices we still have to take care of. We still have to handle loading and unloading the truck. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we're still responsible for. And if I keep a big head about it, then everyone else kind of suffers because of it.
My God, so you are literally living. You are a living mullet, right? Business in the front, party in the back. That's literally what you're doing. Like you're straight business, but when it's time, you can let it fly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
okay, if Hawk needs to throw down, I throw down. But when I also know when it's time to seal it up.
Time to lock in and get going.
I envy you. Okay, like, how old are you?
20.
Dial the fuck in too. My goodness. All right, I got to go over a few things here on your Instagram bio. First of all, you're a badass on Instagram when you got like 6 photos. Oh, here's my question, really quick. I almost forgot. What's up, bro? What's this? Talk to me. Is this two in the pink, one in the stink?
That's the Cougar Paw. That is the official hand sign of the University of Houston.
Okay, so not what I thought. Okay, we'll leave. Bro, I didn't know this was the Houston call. I like it though. Kind of like Horned Frogs. You guys got this. Okay. I was like, I didn't think he'd be throwing this up in the air if it meant what I thought it was. But all right, we'll go.
It's funny. It's funny for sure.
Okay, I love it. Look, because you have your own merch. I see here from last year. Is that still going on?
I mean, if I do another T-shirt run, it's definitely going to be someone else selling it for me because that was so much work.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, okay, there's a market for this. I can definitely capitalize. I made some good money off of it, but Lord, just handling all the orders myself
Sure.
and shipping them all out myself, that was just too much.
Sure. Sure. No, I hear you. I saw it here. I was like, this is pretty incredible. So I want to go over three things, and then I want to talk about whatever you can say. We kind of talked about the precast with some sponsorships. So whatever you can say, cool. If not, I understand. But in your bio, it says mullet enthusiast. I mean, clearly, I know I see the mullet, but how long has this mullet? I mean, you've had it since last year. When did you feel you claimed yourself as an enthusiast? When did that come to fruition?
I feel like after the first Hawk roll, it was kind of like, okay,
That
I'm mullet's the way to go.
so did you have one then?
I started growing it in 2020,
COVID year?
and at first it looked terrible. Oh yeah, I was growing a mullet is a painful process because
Oh,
there's a good long point where it looks absolutely atrocious.
yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
And then I got to the point where it started like curling up right around here.
Mm,
It looked a little bit better,
mm-hmm.
and then now it goes down my back. It's great.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Dude, it's something special. It takes a certain breed. How I look at a mullet, to me, it's 80-20, right? 80% of the time, honestly, it sucks because it's a lot, it's heavy, it's hot, it gets tangled up. But 20% of the time, it is the greatest thing, that you could have because it just, for moments like that, it just makes up for that 80%. But it just kind of depends on how you're rocking. All right, so confirmed legend. You got to tell me that's in your bio. What's like? Where's? I mean, I agree. I just want to know where you got that confirmation from.
So before the Hawk stuff ever started, last year we're in Tulane. This is kind of where the popularity and the heat started coming up. We were at Tulane, and the camera pointed to me on the sideline, and I was just locked into the game. It was a hot day in New Orleans. I had sweat dripping down my face. Mullet was flowing, but it was sweaty. I was just locked in. And the commentator posted the tweet and he wrote confirmed legend. And so since that day, I've had it in my bio.
I mean, look, that's rules are rules. You know, yeah, that's fair enough. And then the last thing, I mean, we've got three incredible. I mean, like if I'm looking at this could be a Tinder bio, this could be an Instagram bio. Like, I mean, I'm looking at this like this could be your resume, right? You don't need to put anything else. Like, literally these three things. I'm gonna be intrigued to bring you in. Like, what is this? What are we talking about here, right? One, because if I can't see you, I got to see the mullet. Why does he think he's a mullet enthusiastic? Okay, confirmed legend. Look, that takes some kahunas to post that because now you got to back it up. Lastly, we got Electric Factory. What's up?
Well, always got to ride the lightning. Um, our media guy over here at Houston, he the electric factory is what he termed me. I generate electricity.
Oh my! You can't make this shit up. This is unbelievable. I love this.
Those are all nicknames I've earned.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, and that's why I knew. I was like, if he's placing these right, you've got to feel confident enough to be like, yep, I've earned this. I'm posting it up there, so I got to know why. Like, I'm not discrediting it because I know there's a story behind it, and it's got to be good enough because you're throwing that bad boy in the bio. I was like, it's got to be good, and you didn't let me down. I can promise you that, and I think the people in the chat, they're loving. They're saying the mullet is elite. They're loving the mullet. Obviously, I'm sure you're a mullet enthusiast. It's the first thing on the bio. You already knew that. So let's talk again. Whatever you can or cannot say. How have your DMs been? From, I want to know all the way from, sponsorships, deals, people reaching out to you, to the honeys, because you're a confirmed legend at this point. So don't be humble now, okay? You got Hawk press on the back of your shirt for a reason. Just look, you don't have to tell me everything. You don't have to kiss and tell. Just give me whatever you can say. Go ahead.
Brands blowing me up. Got a few things on the way. Don't want to give out any spoilers.
Fair enough.
Fans blowing up my DMs, saying they love me, calling me a legend. Appreciate all that. Love you guys too. If I didn't get to respond, I try to respond, but there's a lot. Honeys, though, not too much on that avenue, unfortunately, brother.
Give it time. Give it time. I promise you that it'll come. It's this. We get some of these clips out. They see the confidence, just the swagger that you carry with yourself, your sense of humor, but just like the confidence and just the your mindset. It's. I mean, I'm attracted, and I'm married. I don't say it. So look, they build it and they will come. Okay, dude.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything that go ahead and plug your Twitter, plug your Instagram? We need to be following you because we've got another year next year. I'm going to be watching Houston games just to see how you're doing, and maybe we can do a follow up next year to see how it's going. But plug your stuff. Tell everybody about yourself.
So Instagram and Twitter are both at BigHawk68. Pretty simple there. I don't post all too often. Only when I got some banger photos going on that I'm ready to share. Definitely keep an eye out there for sponsorships you got on the way. I got some big ones coming soon, so definitely be ready for those.
I'm looking at your Instagram. It's very clean, but every photo you have is an absolute banger. I mean, there isn't. It's all high quality stuff. So I respect that. Good. You're kind of keeping us on the toes. Like I want more. Like you got just enough to where it's like I want to see more. I want to know more about this guy. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see what's to come. I think you've got a future in making some reels maybe. But again, you're all business. But I think you've got something there that you can tap into. But look, Hawk, Gavin, whatever you prefer to be called. I mean, legend. This interview has been an absolute blast. I genuinely appreciate you coming on here and telling us your story and kind of telling us what you got going on. I know that people in here loved it. I can't wait to clip it up because there's some sweet moments of you just being an absolute legend. And again, I really appreciate you, man. And Happy New Year, Bubba.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, man. You be good, all right?
Yes, sir, I will.
Yes, sir. Boys and girls. All righty. Wow. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable there. I mean, what a hell of an interview. That guy was incredible. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Hook him up, Brandon. I talked to him. I've talked to him about being a Barstool athlete, and he's like, we'll talk about it. So I 100% will talk to him after the fact and see if that's something we could probably do. But my goodness, what a legend! Such a cool kid. Hope he deserves everything he's got going to him. That was an absolute blast to do, and I really enjoyed it. But hey, guys, Happy New Year, 2023. Welcome to the show. Hell of a game day yesterday. Am I right? I mean, honestly, it was, in my opinion, probably one of the greatest college football weekends we've had in a very long time. If you guys can think of a weekend for college football playoffs that was better than this weekend, let me know down in the comments. I'm sure you guys will have one. But that TCU-Michigan game, incredible. I had a parlay, 4-leg parlay. I took Bama to cover the points. I took Iowa +3. I took TCU straight up. And I took Georgia straight up. Bang! Put it in there, baby. Lock it and load it. That Georgia game had me stressing. Okay? Had me stressing. I think I speak for all of us when we're all locked in onto the Horned Frogs come next week. So I don't want to see Georgia get it done. I wanted to see Georgia beat Ohio State. I did want that. I know some of you guys are going to be mad at that, but I did not want to see Ohio State in the championship. I wanted Big Ten to take the L like they did yesterday, which was great to see. Watching Michigan go down was incredible, but my goodness. Look, I think we can't. The spread continued to drop before the game. I think it started at like 7.5 favored UGA. Then it dropped to 5.5. Then it dropped to 4.5 right before game time because people felt that Ohio was going to come out and punch Georgia in the mouth. And sure enough, they did. I think Stetson Bennett earned himself some coins last night. He was struggling, and I saw some people on Twitter calling for his head and wanted to be pulled because he looked rattled, and he did look rattled. He did. He really did. The defense showed up. Thankfully, he's got 2 9-foot tight ends to dump the ball off to. That helped him a little bit and had to hit a little bit of security blanket. But my goodness, if I'm TCU, I'm feeling pretty damn good going into Monday. But I also know Kirby Smart and the boys and how they function. And I don't know. I think, look, TCU really, really impressed me. They played hella defense against Michigan, obviously up until the end when it was just a bomb fest. But their speed on offense is incredible. The way they can move the ball is going to be interesting to watch. I think you can almost mimic it to what Ohio State was able to do against Georgia, if not maybe a little bit faster, Max Duggan's that guy. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I really don't think they're going to match up well against Georgia, honestly. But Georgia got caught on their feet. Could it be because they were already looking ahead? I don't know. I think we can't say that anymore. I think you got to show up for that game. Look, some people are going to try to knock it. Georgia got it done, right? It is what it is. Ohio State lost that game, in my opinion. I don't think Georgia beat them. But yeah, see, Weapon X, I like what you said here, right? I'm sorry, it's SEC or nothing. I will never root for another conference. And I'm like that 98% of the time. Genuinely, I will always go for the SEC because I want the SEC to continue to be dominant. This one in particular, I think because it is TCU and it is the Big 12, I'm more okay with it. If it's an ACC team, never. Pac-12 team, never. Unless maybe like Deion's fighting for it. I wouldn't mind seeing Deion, but anybody else in the Pac-12, nah, right? Big 10, not a chance in hell would I ever cheer for a Big 10 team. The Pac-12 doesn't really threaten me, I guess. Like if the Pac-12 squeezes one out, the Pac-12 isn't really going to be relevant anymore anyway. So like, what does that do for any type of arguments, right? Because the Pac-12 has always been like the little brother to everybody else. So if this is the year that the SEC has to go down, this would be the year that I would pick, if that makes sense, right? I love that we're the best conference too, and I love that we dominate. So that's where my heart at as well too. We got Austin Sweat in the chat running his mouth. SEC has 3 teams that are good. Everyone else is mediocre. That's basically every conference, okay? Pac-12, it's Utah. Everyone else sucks. The Big 10, who's good in the Big 10? Michigan? Penn State? Ohio State? I mean, what's up? You know what I mean? So, look, I'm excited for this championship game. I think, look, Bama made a point. They said they should have been in there, but I think this playoffs, the way it worked this year was very exciting. I think it did well. I think if TCU gets blown out, we might go damn. But either way, I think it played out better than I think we anticipated. I know it played out better than I did. I thought it was going to be a Michigan blowout and Georgia blowout, and the championship game was going to be all the hype. But I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Both games were phenomenal. Both teams played out. TCU, I think we have to quit sleeping on TCU. At this point, TCU has earned the rep because Michigan, and I talked about it before the game, has been doing a phenomenal job of building their team. They've had a lot of top recruiting classes. They've been kicking ass in the portal. Harbaugh's been there for like 7-8 years now, okay? He has been building this for a very long time. You've got a TCU with a first-year head coach, comes in and takes down that powerhouse. TCU has earned their stripes, boys, okay? You can't say anything about it. Now, here's a hot take, a massive hot take on Ohio State and Ryan Day. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for it, but it's simply a hot take, so just bear with me here. Look, I think Ohio State might be on their last end here, okay? Ryan Day hasn't really done anything. In my opinion, he's kind of like the Dabo Swinney of the Big Ten, where it's like, yeah, you always have a great team, and Dabo got it done 1 time or 2 times, but that's even a bad example, honestly, because Dabo has done it a few more times, but I think Ohio State might be on the decline. I could be wrong here. This is a massive hot take, but I know they are struggling in recruiting with their NIL, and maybe because there's a bit of an ego in Ohio State where, hey, we are the Ohio State University, and around them there isn't much to recruit against, so they've always had success recruiting. They have a heritage of just studs that have went there. So people want to go to Ohio State. They've always had that ability. But now with the NIL, it changes everything. It changes the entire scheme of football because, like we've talked about before, it's not just going to go play football somewhere. It's like, no, I want to go play somewhere and make a lot of money, but also have a great living. And Ohio, it's a beautiful college town, but outside of that, I mean, it's Ohio, right? So I could see this starting to kind of dwindle down, right? Because Ryan Day has not been able to get it done. He really hasn't. And again, I could be overreaching here. I'm sure I'll hear about it in the comments. But if you go back and look, they haven't been able to get it done in the big games. You lose to Harbaugh twice. You've lost in the playoffs when you made it to the playoffs. And I think they've only made it to a championship once with Ryan Day. Could be mistaken. And they lost that as well, too. So when you've got Michigan, who's supposed to be your little brother, basically owning you for the last 2 years. Now, they do have a lower recruiting class coming into this next year, but they have dominated, again, Michigan in the portal, which I think is going to be, in my opinion, more of a factor than recruiting. I've been preaching this since the beginning. It's going to take obviously some years to really see if it's going to be the case, but we will see. We will see what happens. Honestly, Georgia looked vulnerable all damn night. That secondary got torched, and Bennett looked scared at times. I think the Florida-Georgia game proved that. I think Florida be able to roar back like they did against Georgia shows that, yes, Georgia is vulnerable. I don't think – we keep saying that Georgia is like the new Bama, where I don't think Georgia is the new Bama, because when Bama was at their prime and they were dominating, they would genuinely just roll everybody. Like, they always controlled all the games. But they also won big games like they did, like how Georgia won last night. If you give them the ball and you give them the opportunity to go down and score, they get it done. And that's where Saban's been great at that as well too. But I just don't feel like Georgia has dominated like the Bama teams have in the past. But also too, you got to remember, this Georgia team lost a lot of people last year to the draft, and here they are, right? Who are we talking about? Who they dominate, Jonathan? And here they are. Still back playing for national championship after losing, I think, like 20 players to the draft. So, I mean, how much I'm nervous for next year for these guys. Now, the quarterback situation is going to be different, so we'll see how that transitions. And again, this is what we talked about before. Is Georgia a dynasty? They have to get through Stetson Bennett to claim themselves as a dynasty. They need to be able to go next year. I hope they don't, if they win this year, they don't win again next year. But if they are competitive next year and they maybe can get it like in 2 or 3 years, then they can make that argument. But they have to do it without Stetson Bennett. So, yeah, look, Georgia almost lost to Mizzou. They played a close game to Kent State. It feels like there's a little bit of a hangover there. They don't really care. It's like they feel like they're good. I don't know. They haven't looked as dominant as, again, like other Bama teams typically do as they're rolling, but they're winning. So it doesn't really matter how they look, as long as at this point it doesn't matter. It's that you're not playing for style points. You're just playing for the W. So we'll see. Yeah, look, honestly, Ohio State, I feel like C.J. Stroud runs on the field, puts him in field goal range, and Ohio State got stale. They started throwing the football. It's like I would have ran it maybe. I know time didn't do them any favor, but run the ball, get up a spike it really quick, get him a little bit closer, but they tried. It was kind of poor play calling where I think Ohio State blew, and that's kind of where my question for Ryan Day comes. I feel like that last C.J. Stroud puts you in field goal position, and then you almost kind of just like, oh, we're here now. Let's try to throw it for a touchdown. It's like, well, no, I would play for a little 2-3 yard out routes. Just get that closer. You're playing for the field goal now. And they felt like they were trying to do too much, and it kind of, a 50-yard field goal with the nuts on the line, that's not an easy one. The kid wasn't even close, but, I mean, look, that's part of the football game. So, all in all, I thought it was a phenomenal day. I enjoyed every minute of it. I hope you guys did. It was a hell of it. Bro, did you guys see this the synchronized up with the field goal kick with the ball? Did we see this? Please tell me you guys saw this. Literally, it was counting down from 10, 9, 8, and simultaneously, you've got the field goal kicker for Ohio State backing up 8, 7, 6. The ball's hiked. 4, 3. He kicks it. 2, 1. He misses it. The New York goes wild because it's New Year's Eve, and then Georgia's rushing the field all at the same time as it hits midnight. Like, one hell of a way to end the 2022 and rolling into the 2023 season. I mean, it just put a crown on the entire year. Unbelievable. You can't make that stuff up. I was like, 2023 is going to be that year, boys. We're going to dial it in. All right, we're gonna rock and roll it. So, it was exciting to see. Happy New Year's, boys and girls. Happy New Year's. Look, could Bennett get another year of eligibility? I hope so. He deserves it. He's 29 and a half. Well. What? Yeah, bring him in here. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, we're going to go ahead and sign off for now, but let's go ahead and say hey to the little man. Look at this. Look how big this guy's gotten. Look at this, boys. Look. He's got a New Year's on. Say hey. He's a man of many words. Well, happy New Year, boys and girls, from Beckett Tiger and High Top family. Hope you guys have a great New Year. We got a great show planned for you guys on Wednesday, live at 8:35. Ben Chase, the man that's been traveling all over the globe to watch college football, will be here. So hope to see you guys there. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn the bell on. We got a lot of content. This is going to be the year we dial it in, boys. Happy New Year, guys. Love you. Pound it. Bye.
my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show.